What is up, guys? Luis from Lu Media here, and I bet I know why you're watching this video today. You want to get into DTF printing, and you are at the right place. Today we're going to speak or talk about the pros and cons from whether it's better for you to purchase converted or for you to convert. We're also going to discuss consumables, my favorite ones anyways, and every other thing that you will need to start your DTF printing journey. So we're gonna kick it off. If you're purchasing from a retailer, guys, one of the biggest things that I see is that you do get some customer support purchasing from a retailer like DTFSuperstore.com or Kingdom DTF. Plus, they have loads of videos online as well. At least Kingdom DTF does, that kind of answer most of the questions that you might have as a consumer. So that is one of the pros. Pro number two from purchasing from a retailer is that most of the printers that they already sell are plug and play. They have kits that you can purchase from them that include consumables and the printer itself with a RIP software. It leaves you having to get just a couple of other things before you can get to printing, but they are ready to go. All you gotta do is add inks to it and do a couple of test runs and you should be good to go. The third pro is that you do not have to take apart your printer. Yes, so you don't have to sit there trying to figure out what are pizza rolls, what are feeding trays, what is the ink waste tank, none of that. They come already converted, ready to go, and you don't have to literally do anything. One of the pros, guys, that I see from converting yourself is that you typically will spend a third of what you would spend purchasing from one of these companies. Typically, for example, a P800 that you purchase from DTF Superstore or Kingdom DTF will run you anywhere, I believe, from the $2,600 area up to like the $3,400 area. And you can actually purchase a P800 for way less than that. Now, you have to do the conversion yourself, and you do have to watch a couple of videos how to remove certain stuff, but it really isn't that hard. Another pro from converting yourself, and I think this is one of the biggest ones, especially if you're on a budget, is that you can purchase used. Now, you can also purchase used converted already, but it's a little sketchy, the market. So the only time I would recommend you purchasing used is if you're doing the conversion yourself. Yes, that might seem like a con, but honestly, I was able to get into my first DTF printer by purchasing used. I literally bought an Epson R1800 for $100. Literally, that's what it cost me with resettable ink chip cartridges. That was another $50 because I bought 2 sets of them, and then literally the rest is just your consumables. I was able to get started printing super easily, under $500, guys, and that's not even exaggerating. So I do see that as a pro. Pro number 3 for converting yourself, guys, is that you do get to learn your printer in and out. This is kind of where that fine line walks with DTF, because when you purchase converted, yes, it's ready to go, plug and play. You don't have to do none of the disassembling yourself, but that could also be a con, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. And this will be our leeway into the cons. But what I mean by that is, eventually with any of these converted printers, unless you're purchasing a commercial grade specialty DTF printer from China with the multiple print heads, all of these printers will have issues at one point or another, because they are not meant to push this type of ink out of them. They are not meant to run white ink. When you convert it yourself, you actually get to learn your printer very well. So if you ever need to replace a print head, the waste tank, your lines, a damper, any of that stuff, you already know how to do it because you know how to get down and dirty with your printer. Yes, that is a pro from converting yourself, but that leads us into the cons of purchasing already converted. One of my biggest cons with purchasing converted is that you don't know your way around your printer. Yes, you can eventually learn, because you will have to, but I feel if you do it the other way, it's a little better. You already know what you're looking at. You already know what to look for when you take it apart. So I do see that as a con. The other con is obviously one of the pros from converting yourself, is that it is very expensive. I feel like, honestly, it's somewhat of a ripoff. Most of these companies are just removing a couple of pizza rollers and just replacing the waste ink tank with just an external one, and that's pretty much it. And they're marking up the price 300%. It's insane, guys. I think it's honestly highway robbery. But again, for the person that doesn't know and just wants something to go, I'm not knocking their hustle. I just think it's very overpriced. The cons from converting yourself, and really, guys, those are the only two cons that I see from purchasing from a retailer, is that always do your research before purchasing from a retailer, because not all of them are the same. So we're going to talk about the cons about converting yourself. Obviously, the biggest elephant in the room is the learning curve. Every printer is different. Every printer requires different steps. Well, not different steps, but they have the components in little different areas. Although for the most part, they are the same. You remove pizza rollers and you replace the waste tank. Sorry, guys. Some printers do, like the 3880, the Epson 3880, come with like actual removable waste tanks, and you just gotta get a chip resetter for that. If you're purchasing used and converting yourself, always look out for your print heads, guys. This is one of the biggest issues that people are having, that they're purchasing used convertible or printers that are able to be converted to DTF, and the print heads are bad because these are older printers that have been sitting around. Yes, you might stumble upon a P800 or P600, P400 used that is kind of new, but most of the time people are selling those type of printers for a reason. Again, even at the inception of these printers, they were not cheap, so somebody is not going to just be selling one of these printers super cheap for no reason. Most of the time, the print head issues can be solved by just doing a very thorough print head cleaning. I had to do that with my R1800, and I still have a video release on my process with that. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Just watch out for print heads. If you do purchase used, make sure that they do a test, a print test for you. If they're not capable of doing that without the inks, just purchase with caution and adjust your pricing that you're willing to pay for that printer according to that. Just keep that in mind. Bros, this obviously comes with the territory. You're gonna break things. If it's your first time converting a printer, you probably are more likely either gonna delaminate a print head trying to clean it, you're gonna break something in it. That's why you gotta be careful, and you do gotta do a lot of research before you convert a printer yourself. So that is also a con, you know? So those are my top pros and cons that I see with DTF printers versus whether you're buying from a retailer or whether you're converting yourself, new versus old. Those are the biggest ones. If you guys think I missed something, please leave a comment below. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get to the other part of this video, which is your consumables, your RIP software, and other items required or needed to be able to successfully put a DTF transfer print onto a shirt. Aside from getting your printer going or purchasing a printer, guys, this is gonna be the biggest tip that I can give you, because this has given me so many headaches, and it gives so many people headaches in the forums that it's not even funny. Find a reputable consumables company. Luis, what do you mean by that? Yes, guys, your printers have these printers have a lot of consumables. You have powder, you have the PET transfer sheets, you have your inks, not only CMYK but your white ink, and there's variations of all of that, transfer paper and the powders. Find a reputable consumable company that you can work with within your country. For those of you in the USA, you're in luck. I have two companies that I've purchased from that I've had great success with. That is DTFSuperstore.com and KingdomDTF.com. I'm sure you can find both of them here on YouTube. If they have channels, I will link them below. I will also be linking links to their websites in the description below as well. I have used both inks from both companies, and they seem to work very well. I specifically like DTF Superstore probably a little bit more. It's a little bit cheaper, but they also have very good transfers. I use the matte transfers, and I also use their medium powder. Those are that's probably some of the biggest tips I can give you for you to save headaches. White ink, guys, is probably one of the hardest consumable to find that's reliable, and DTF Superstore, I feel, has hit it on the nail. The next thing that I'm going to speak about that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is your RIP software. What is a RIP software? So aside from your design software, which is like Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever it is that you use, Affinity, GIMP, Inkscape, you know, etc., etc., you also have to have a software that actually talks to the DTF printer, because remember, this isn't like sublimation where you just send off and it just does CMYK colors. This printer has to do a double print, basically your CMYK and then your white layered over it. So you need a specific software that can talk to the printer, that can put those two processes in place and automate it at once for you, so you don't have to run two different prints. I have been using AcroRip for the past. I do use AcroRip 9.02, but I feel I got scammed. I purchased a pirated software at a licensed software price. Unfortunately, I got ripped off. Guys, stay away from AcroRip 9.0.2 unless you can find it dirt cheap. It works for me just fine. I don't have any issues, but there is a lot of things that you got to turn off with your firewall. I don't recommend it 100%. Again, it's worked for me, but I don't recommend that for my viewers. If you're looking for a good RIP software, I know AcroRip 10.2, I believe that is the version. That one's very good, it seems to be very well liked within the forums. And also CADLink. I wasn't able to get CADLink to work 100% with my R1800. My trial ended before I can try it with my 3880, but I hear very, very good things about CADLink as well. I might have a full review for both coming up if I can get one of the companies to reach out to me to see if I can get another trial kind of set up for me. So those are the two that I recommend. There's others like White Rip and I believe EK Rip. There's other ones like that, but I think those are more for like your bigger consumer grade printers. I think stick with either AcroRip or CADLink and you'd be fine and you'll be happy. And one thing I didn't mention with this also is that, and it takes a lot of people by surprise, is, guys, I highly recommend using a Windows laptop for this. Yes, you can run it on a Mac, the RIP software, you can run it on a Mac if you have Parallels and then run Windows, but I feel like that's just kind of doing double work going around. Just purchase a cheap laptop from Walmart or from Amazon. I'll link some below as well that I feel work. I have a very inexpensive laptop from Walmart and it's worked great for me. I had to purchase that because all my laptops are Mac. My only PC is my rig here that I use for gaming or for some of my video editing. One of the biggest things that I didn't think about when I purchased DTF or I got into DTF was the curing method for the transfers. A lot of people think you just pour the powder and it's ready to go. Well, no, you have to cure that powder and that ink, and then either in an oven, a griddle, or a, I guess what they call curing ovens already. I went with the convection oven route. I'll link it below, the one I purchased. It's worked great for me. The only thing I don't like is the fumes. I think with any method that you pick, there's gonna be fumes. Guys, do not breathe in the fumes from the powder. It is very, very toxic. Please, 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 I cannot stress this enough. Cure in an open area or make sure you have some type of ventilation system in place. It is very toxic. I did go with the convection oven because it was the cheapest, it was the easiest one to acquire. I've heard that you can use your heat press, a griddle, like a griddle plate from Walmart, literally the ones it's like you cook eggs and stuff like that. Again, I'll link some of those as well below. And then DTF Superstore right now is taking pre-orders, I believe, or Kingdom DTF, I can't remember, for an actual curing oven that's made for DTF. So those are the few different options. There's a plethora of ways to do that. I've heard people even using heat guns. So don't stress about the curing method, just find whatever works best for you. Obviously, you're gonna need a heat press, right? That's gonna be linked below, guys. Whether you like Amazon or you like Heat Press Nation, I'll have links for both. And remember, guys, when you use my links, it definitely helps the channel. They are affiliate links, and I make a little bit of a kickback without you having to pay anything extra. Anyways, guys, that's literally what you need to know before you get into DTF. If you have any questions, please leave them below. You already know your boy tries to answer every single question that's in the comments. Or head over to my Instagram or TikTok and you can leave a comment somewhere or shoot me a DM and I will try to get to you as quick as possible. I hope that you find success in your DTF journey. I'm living it so far. I'm living the prints. I would have been wearing one today, but it's laundry day and I don't have any of them clean. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, please hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm. And if you haven't already, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Until the next one, guys, this is Luis from the media, signing out.